Your life. Go.
Blessed love, greetings and blessings to everyone. And yeah, man, welcome to the Justice and Healing, Judgment and Heaping Nyabingi Initiative, brought to you at Calabash TV. I am Ras Dr. Wayne Rose, and we're here. We're here, and we're sending blessings and love to all. Uh, Wanted to share a little thing with the family because every single Monday we're going to come to you, and we're coming to you live on Calabash TV, and we're advancing the work of justice and healing. We're advancing the work of the Jaja and I bookstore, and we want ones to be aware of what is taking place in our bookstore, our monthly initiatives, our monthly work. There are things happening right here in February, the February month, leading all the way through the next 12 months. So it's a love and a joy, and I wanted just to share a few thoughts first from the wise mind of Emperor Haile Selassie I, Rastafari. It starts with justice and equality. It says, he who seeks justice knows the value of justice too. It says, justice is the fundamental axiom for the survival of freedom and government. All men, man stand equal before the law. Religion is personal. The state is for all. In a peace without justice, there shall be neither peace nor justice. Listen to that, In a peace without justice, there shall neither be peace nor justice. Since in the scale of creation all men are created equal, it is imperative that all laws be equitable in their application. For what is the foundation of freedom? And what are the reasons that man cherish it if they are not equal before the law? Law is important. The natural origin of every man being man himself and thus being equal through creation. The only difference lies in the opportunities made possible. The honor and interest of all persons depend on the wise mind of the law, whereas humiliation, shame, inequity, and denial of man's rights all originate from the absence or inadequacy of law. I said this again. The honor and interest of all persons depend on the wisdom of the laws, whereas humiliation, shame, inequity, and the denial of man's rights, and I'll add violence and everything that is negative in society, it originates from the absence or inadequacy of laws. So he who is worthy of praise amongst man is the man who, animated by sentiments of justice, preserves in the way of equity. This is the wise mind of Emperor Haile Selassie I. Unless the rights of the least of man are as assiduously protected as those of the greatest, the seeds of confidence will fall on barren soil. Honesty means not to oppress anybody and deny him or her their deserved share. When I and I speak of the betterment of man's life, we mean not merely the economic addition to the spiritual conditions in which man lives. For just as a man without means to feed his hunger and to clothe his nakedness can take no pride in his existence as human being, so also is the man who is reviled and discriminated against because of race, religion, deprivation of economic opportunity, robbed of his self-respect and human dignity. Be careful what you're doing with the law, because you can rob people of them self-respect and dignity. And that man is going to respond with some level of something. The basis of racial discrimination, the basis of economic injustice, the basis of injustice in general is a weapon. It is used as a weapon against people. And most people will not overcome it. So I and I can never rest content in our achievements so long as members of our family, members of the St. Lucian family, members of the human family assert on racial and economic injustices their superiority over at least one man, and especially the Rasta man. These are the words of Kadamawi Haile Selassie I. And so we give thanks that you listen, and we want you to know that in the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, this book, The Wise Mind of Haile Selassie I, has many pearls, and you can come to our bookstore and come read. You can also come purchase your own copy of the book. Yes? So we give thanks and we ask our beloved producer to take a small break. I think we might be having a little technical difficulty, and if not, we move right forward into our next slide. I want you to know also, in our studio, we have a very special treat. I say we have a treat for you, and I hope you're ready for the treat, because we're going to have some conversations about justice. And we have someone very special who knows it intimately, who understands St. Lucia, understands the challenges. I'm going to speak to her briefly. But before then, my producer, take a small break now, please.
My name is Efelina Lancico. The name of the company is Miss Centro's Creole Delights. What I have on display is banana jam, because today is the banana festival. I have the banana cake. I have the banana set, the banana himself. And I have the pone, the banana pone, banana jam and banana jelly. The guava, the banana, the pineapple, the breadfruit, the soursop, the spicy mango, and the goon apple. Sell a lot. Yes, I have a new flavor. I have the banana jam with the banana inside of the banana cell, in the jar cell. They can call me Centros. The number is 451-8267.
Meet Jerry. He loves to find new ways to make his life easy. That's why Jerry signed up to pay his electricity bill online with Luselect My Account. Just go to myaccount.luselect.com. Scroll down to log in your details. Enter your requested username and password, plus a security question with an answer that will help you retrieve your password if you lose it. Next, sign up for e-billing. Next, scroll down and enter your personal information. Enter your first, last name, email address, and contact number. Then, enter your account and meter numbers. These can be found in the top left-hand corner of your printed bill. To finish, you must click Accept to our terms of use. Then hit Register Now. Go to your inbox for an email stating that your online access has been received. If you don't see an email in your inbox, check your junk or spam folders. Click on the Confirm My Email Address link to be granted access. If after confirming your address you still can't get access, don't panic. Simply follow any of these steps and you'll get all the help you need. My Account. Go the easy way and register today.
Rastafari, blessings and love. Welcome forward again, family. As I said, Ras Wayne here with the Justice and Healing Initiative, St. Lucia, Calabash TV. Yeah, man. And we have our beloved sound from Brother Connix. More love in the street is that we're seeking. And as we said, Rastafari.
people tell me how my sound.
Yeah, but a little bit of technical difficulties no fire. But as you heard, beloved brother Chronic says, we need more love in the street. And from the street, we have one of the most credible, authentic sisters, a community worker, a St. Lucian of extraordinary capacity and work. And yeah, so we're going to introduce our beloved Sister Betty Jean. Sister Betty Jean, welcome to Justice and Healing Initiative. How are you doing?
Good evening, good evening. Blessed to everybody, blessed love to everybody. We all know, I know, that my name is Betty Jean. My government name is Roberta Prudence, and I have been a community activist for the past 6 years actively.
So, Sister Betty, before you go all the way into your life and the legacy, what part of St. Lucia are you from?
Well, I live at Carolee, but my younger days have been all over the Castries Basin, from one community to the next.
So, Sister Betty, listen. You know, as I and I have been introduced to you, since I and I have been introduced to you, we're talking about justice and healing.
Yes.
And what I got to learn is that there is an important force, just in terms of community activism. As I said to the audience a while ago, Sister Betty certainly is a community certified mediator, conflict resolution personality, someone who understands what is happening in the pulse of the streets. So I am so happy to have you first and foremost, because part of the Jaja and I initiative is to seek justice, but importantly, to have healing in the family. So talk to us about what that represents, justice in the context of what you see happening in St. Lucia today.
Well, first and foremost, you know, young people, especially from the rural areas, from backgrounds like the graveyard, the grass street, and the different areas, not necessarily there alone. Within the whole of St. Lucia, there's always like little areas, little trouble spots and stuff where people don't recognize the actual people in the community, where a lot of us are classified at the moment, as long as something goes wrong, as monsters. But the important question I have for people out there, what creates a monster? What could happen to somebody to bring out anger? What could give you so much rage? And a lot of people do not understand, because it's like you are a bad seed and you will remain a bad seed.
Hold on, Sister Betty, hold on a second, man. We just read from the words, the wise mind
And I was listening
of
to the
Emperor Haile
words.
Selassie I. And the man said, he said, the natural origin of every man is within an equal form of creation. But he said the only difference lies in the opportunities made available to different
right.
people. So is it that they are saying that them not getting opportunities?
Well, no. I
Okay.
must say that. And then society class them as lazy, and they will never get there, and they poison their brains as to gaining an education. You will still not get a job because of your background. And there's a number of things that keeps the young people down, especially the backgrounds, and where they're from and who are their parents. And society keeps keeping us in that hole.
So it sounds like
Yes.
people are getting boxed in.
Yeah, they're getting boxed in.
But-
and when we talk about equal rights and justice, it's supposed to be for all, no matter what background. And this is the downfall in our country.
Well, you know something, Sister Betty, I come into St. Lucia, and I come in St. Lucia as a man who's proud, very proud, and I feel a nice energy in St. Lucia. I've been talking to a lot of young people in St. Lucia as a man who born in Jamaica and come out of the heart of West Kingston, Jamaica. I understand intimately the process through which you get socialized in the most negative of ways. So St. Lucia has not reached that stage yet because there's some serious problems all over the Caribbean, including Jamaica. So part of the initiative of justice and healing is to prevent that.
Yes, and that's why we need a form of prevention. And most times they take foreign bodies into our country and say they're analyzing crime and they're analyzing the communities and what creates. But it's a local problem. It's actually a local problem, and the people within those communities can solve those problems, not any foreign body. And that's what I have a problem with, where we are classed, below level, but everybody are human beings. And the only time we have rights, our rights can be executed, is 5 years down the line when it comes to politics. And we need to change that. The young people need to be able to present themselves no matter what their background is. We have to stop the rejection process that's going on within the higher levels, because when you class them, they class themselves too. So they will never come out of those zones unless we pull them out. And it will get worse because they speak amongst themselves. To them out there, they don't fit in. And sometimes when I speak to people in a higher rank, like in society, I wouldn't say in a higher rank because nobody's at a higher rank than me, because I put myself in that position. But then we have young people who feel so, that they don't fit in, they don't belong, and this is the mentality we need to change. If we change that mentality, we make headway.
Give thanks, Sister Betty. You said something very interesting a while ago too. Because what you said is that the solutions to the problem is already in the community. And that's just saying. So if the solution is in the community, then tell us what level of leadership and where is that leadership? If, for instance, you had one person that you would point to, that you'd want the youth them to galvanize around, to get together with, someone who can inspire the youth them to do the right things and to step forward in a new framework, who would you?
Well, number one, I met Priscilla a couple of years ago, like roughly 11 years ago. And he always showed me the respect. He always taught me how to have respect, even when I use words that that's not, He would pull me up and tell me no. And he gave me part of it. He's always taught me the value about that, Betty. You have values.
So you're saying the writer or preschool is a man I know personal and intimately too. So this man would be the man that you point
yes.
as a.
And then I have other people that.
No. Tell
really,
me more
yes.
about why
so then I have
Kailash.
Why him?
Yes.
Because he don't judge.
Mm.
Now judging is something that could push you back easily. Like say I come and speak to you, say I have a little problem and I come and I say boss man, because that's how I would relate to people that, I'll say, boss man, there's a situation and stuff like that. And, can I confide in you? Then tomorrow you will hear this, Betty came to that person. Mm-hmm. So the level of, I could confide in him and know that whatever I say to him, he'll give me advice. Okay, not only short term, but long term. Because I will tell you why. There's a lot of things he told me from the beginning when I met him, and it's still right there in my brain. Mm. And sometimes when I get into situations, and like I'll think of, Pris told me that, and Pris told me that, and flashbacks would come. But like I said, it's stages. It will never be one person. It will always be different people with different energies. And that is why I'm telling you, grasping onto somebody is very important to a ghetto youth.
So hold on. So Sister Betty, tell me now. You're saying for the youth, them in the ghetto, they need that kind of leadership or they need that kind of interaction. Someone who can point in a particular
Yes.
direction and inspire.
Yes,
You think
him-
this would be the same?
There's
Is it a,
only two people.
Eh.
There's only two people that I know that we could win any gangster heart. When I say win their heart, that they would give their time is Priscilla Ash and Dr. King.
Well, you know something? I'd love to be the third, you know, because it's an imbalance when you have only two, you know.
Yeah.
You need that trinity. But listen, it's interesting that you're saying that, beloved Sister Betty, because, you know, I and I really are thinking and positioning I and I self right now to establish work, not exclusive from the community, but certainly to integrate the community in the work, to bring the youth them forward. This is why we established the Jaja and I, the physical structure at Jeremy Street, where we have a food of 7 ital restaurants, so the youth them can see a difference in terms of how them for taking them food and eat for live and not live for eat. We also have a cultural center which has a bookstore where, you know, information pan Rastafari, information pan African livity, information about what you can use to lift themselves to the next level. It is all there. We have them books.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes. So, in you saying this about all what you're talking about there, the question I always have, how do you get them to come in? Now that is where
I want you to hold that question because we're going to take a brief break and come forward again and we'll start with that question. Sister Betty. Okay. Justice and healing, beloved. Rastafari, blessings and honor. My producer, take a small break. Sister Betty is on fire. Rastafari.
I am Patricia Anthea Joshua, owner of Lucian Expression. Okay, our business is to make souvenirs, natural souvenirs, so that we can have a truly made in St. Lucia souvenir. Now the souvenir doesn't necessarily mean it's for tourists. We just want to make whatever your memory you want special. So it could be a baby shower, a wedding anniversary, school anniversary, or just to tell your customers, thanks for being with us, we can assist you. So we make paper and paper products. Because it's a banana festival, we focus on banana, but we make paper out of other products like screw pine, mango, anything that has fiber, we can make paper out of it. We include things like fabric, glitter, color, depending on whatever the client wants. I don't make paper and put it there. I go based on orders and what people want because I try and make it as custom made as possible. So we have a series of Christmas cards, Christmas traditions of St. Lucia. And it's a set of 5, $6 a card, but you get the set for $25. So in essence, you get a free card. Okay. This is the display packaging, but we have since discontinued this packaging because of the plastic. So we have moved into a more environmentally friendly packaging. We want to maintain our award as best climate change product and also environmental awareness. So we want to maintain that. So we can assist with calendars, whatever you want. So we also have a banana lip balm. Now with the lip balms, we do other lip balms, but we can put a holder and whatever your event, you can write it in. So for example, if it's a baby shower, you can write something on the holder, a wedding. So you don't always have to give some important something, okay? We're going to be experimenting in the bamboo holders to see how we can use maybe bamboo to make them, so to make it a truly St. Lucian product. My WhatsApp number is 518-2220. but I can also be reached at 285-2167.
Rastafari, what a nice sound that was, Sister Betty. Yes, welcome again forward to the Justice and Healing TV program right here in Calabash, Calabash TV. I have in studio with me our beloved Sister Betty Jean, and she just asked a question before we took the break. Sister Betty, that
Yes.
question, block it again.
Yeah, I was asking when you spoke about the library and
Yes.
everything. I was asking how do you get them in there, because too many times in society it's not like they do not have facilities. They do have facilities, but normally it end up dormant after a while. Why? Because the people in the communities, they're afraid of rejection. How do they know that they will be accepted into your building? How do they know that I come into your building, I see that building, I heard of it and I heard you. But how do I know that a Rasta, you are like I'm not a Rasta, how do I go in there? Suppose they don't accept me. These are the things, that's why it's important for us being here today, to welcome them. And these are the things, they fail to do, whether in education. And education is the key. When I talk about education, I don't talk about going to school. I talk about educating our people, educating our young people about life, what to expect. Nobody did that for me. Yes, I went to school, but I was a dropout. Who came to me? Who asked me why I was a dropout? Who asked me what I wanted to do with my life? And then when somebody asked me what I wanted to do with my life and I didn't know, they didn't try to hold my hand and walk me across. These are the problems we have in our youth. This is why we're having the problems we're having today. And it's reality. It's a harsh reality, but it is reality.
Sister Betty, when you block them sounds, man, you bring me right forward to Kingston, Jamaica, and to some of the work that I have witnessed and been a part of. But it's about you this evening. Tell me about the work you have been a part of, because this is important. We need to make sure that, one, people feel welcome. Two, that when people buck them foot, when them stumble a little bit, someone is there to catch them. Talk to me, Sister Betty, about the assistance you've been providing to young people across St. Lucia and people perhaps incarcerated or otherwise.
Yes. Well, before I started going into the communities and stuff like that, I had to rebuild myself. When I talk about rebuilding myself, I don't mean that I'm a change, like I'm a different Betty. And most people that like do what I do then and make those changes in those adjustments, should I say, in their lives, it's always through a church. Guys come out of jail, guys go, they join a congregation, they join and this is something I didn't do. I never did that because I wanted to come as real as possible to my people. And it took me a while. The reason why it took me so long, it's a couple of years I've been adjusting. But I had so many questions to myself. Will they ever accept me? Will they ever trust me? Will they ever embrace me? And these are the questions on a daily basis that the youth of today, when they question themselves also. I know they question themselves because sometimes when we speak, they tell me these things. And then I decided, you know what? How will I do it? Will I lose power when I do it? Because remember, in a rival gang, as a gang leader, one of the gang leaders. So it's like, how do I come out of it and make something positive out of the negative I've been in? So you go through mixed feelings. Then would I lose power? Then when I started seeing 14-year-olds dying and stuff, I said, you know what? I'll take all those chances. And I am not perfect. I will never be perfect. I cannot be perfect. I sometimes go through my phases. I sometimes have those flashbacks. But then you have to control it. And that is why you need to take the negative, make the negative into positive. Positive why? I feel different.
Feel good.
I feel good. I feel pure. People will continue to judge me and will continue to say the bad things about me. Sometimes I lose myself and think, maybe I belong where I was. Maybe I belong where I was. Should I go back where I was? And then the little voice in my head say, no, you have reached too far. How many of the young people can say that? How many of the gangsters could say that? So my mindset was to pave the way. Pave the way because everybody knew what I was. Everybody knew my name.
Yes, yes.
With that heavy baggage behind
I want
it.
you to hold the thought just for a little bit and go and share something with the people from the wise mind again of Haile Selassie I. Important piece. The king says it is only when the human mind is guided by religion and morality that man can acquire the necessary vision to put all his ingenious inventions and contributions to really useful and beneficial purposes. Progress without religion, and I say spirituality, is just like a life surrounded by unknown perils and can be compared to a body without a soul. Discipline of the mind is a basic ingredient of genuine morality and therefore of spiritual strength. Now is the time when sincere belief in man's kinship to the divine, to the Almighty, must be the foundation for all man's efforts for enlightenment and learning, the basis of all overstanding, cooperation, and peace. Discipline of the mind. Yes? And now is the time when that must occur. What I said a while ago, Sister Betty, when you say you hear that small voice that corrects you, it's part of the spirituality you're representing that came to you through a process, a vehicle. You said there's always someone to help.
Yes.
Now I and the Justice and Healing platform is seeking to provide that help further to the youth them. So tell me a little bit more about the work you're currently involved in bringing that vision to the youth then.
Okay, so I joined Safe Space. Well, we have a lot to talk about, but tonight I'm going to
Give thanks.
I'm going to go on the top layers.
Yes, sir.
So okay, I joined Safe Spaces and I was accepted by Dr. King and Dr. Bird, and it gave me a sense of, you know, fresh air. People of, I would always say those kinds. And they never made me feel less of a person. And I love the word safe spaces. The reason why I love it, creating a safe space in the communities is so important. This is the most important thing, creating the safe spaces for the younger generation. And then I joined and we started mobilizing footballs, peace leagues, and stuff like that within the communities. But I was always a familiar face, so I made headways very quickly. Unlike a foreign face, when I say a foreign face, another organization, people with coats and ties coming in and saying stop the violence. But when you was part of it, you know exactly where to hit and what to speak about and how to maneuver different problems, because the problems will come. It will never be an easy road, because remember we're dealing with some type, the type they will say that's the bad elements. But I want to say to St. Lucians, no matter what they say when it comes to communities, that's why the ghettos, when they talk about the ghettos and they talk about the bad seeds and all those stuff, the ghetto has the most love. The ghettos are the most attractive, yes. The badness come out of the ghettos. Why? Because of the same rejection. Because they are not accepted. So they build, it's like every other organization, they build their walls. And they come with the firmness. But everybody has a soft spot. All gangsters have a soft spot. And the soft spot is the immediate surroundings, the families. So this is how, and it wasn't something on my own. I needed every leader. Leaders that are out and leaders that was in prison. I couldn't do this by myself. And then sometimes when people give me the praises and say, wow, boy, Betty, you did so well. No, we did well.
I and I.
We did well. And my main sources and my main help came from the prison.
Okay.
And the leaders. And sometimes people talk about leaders as bosses. Leaders are actually breadwinners. Leaders, it doesn't matter if you have 3 people that look up to you. You're a leader. And we need to instill that in our young people. Don't be a follower. It's okay to say I'm not holding the gun. It's okay to say I'm not doing it. How do we go to the communities and teach them that? How do we say to y'all, do not, I can't say I will not do it, but I have always had a strong head. Everybody knows that. So I can't say it. So we have to teach them.
Sister Betty, I am a teacher and you're a leader. Yes, I too am a leader, but the complement is an important thing. The synergy, coming together to work. What you just touched on is an important piece. In fact, just last week, I wrote a letter to one of our noble politicians, suggesting to that person that exactly what you just talked about, that I have seen since I'm here an escalation in certain activities in the communities, and it was to propose methods through which I and I could come together and bring the youth them together. You already have the formula. Sister Betty has the formula. She has been working in that space for a while. So part of what I and I would love for us to touch on and think about and strategize on and share with the family in St. Lucia is ways in which we can, at a very symbolic event, have a justice and healing initiative launched at a community level. So it's not just centered in the Ubuntu Rastafari Cultural Center, but people can feel and come in a singular space for a singular event. And I'm going to ask you the question, but I want to give you a little bit of history, and the family here a little bit of history. April 22nd, 1979, in Jamaica, a Rastaman brought together warring factions, and the politicians leading those warring factions were brought together symbolically in a peace concert. But that peace concert, Sister Betty, was lacking an important component. Yes? Peter to speak about it. Him say, I don't want peace till I get justice.
Yes.
Yes?
So basically when we talk about justice, our justice system has failed. Now when you have a failed justice system, everything crumbles. Because the justice system, they are so lacking in everything. When it comes to first offenders, young people getting arrested, putting them upon the hard course. You have a 16-year-old. That's the only right he have to go to prison. That's the only thing that could happen. He goes to he goes to prison. He cannot get a proper job because he do not have an ID card. You do not have an ID card at 16. You have a student ID. If you go into school, most kids leave school by the time they're 16, 17. Okay? Then we talk about some of them troublesome, then they go to the court system. Here's how they fail again. You have a troublesome child. There's a difference between a child with a lot of anger and and doing real mischievous things, and there's a difference between a troublesome young man. How do they differentiate that? Then they send them to the boys training center. That is a mistake. That's how some of the reasons how they have failed. So this young man has been sent 15 years, 14 years, 13 years, 11 years, whatever, sent there. Boom.
All right.
You cannot come
right.
back out from that. At least 75% of them graduate to borderly. So when you stigmatize them from so early, and you see the thing about the justice system, something goes wrong, they respond to the public. And then it's a rush situation because you need to answer to the public, and a lot of wrongful arrests are being done. Then you send an innocent person or somebody as a first offender, somebody that didn't, because sometimes at a tender age, you commit a crime,
yeah.
but I won't say it wasn't intentional, but it's easy for you to fall back and say, why did I do that? Why did I do that? You understand? So it's like they end up sending them to prison. Justice system has failed again. The length of time that you...
So hold on, Sister Betty. We're going to wrap up this segment a little in a minute, but listen. The idea of failure is one thing. I will go and pop that as how you go, it's multiple times, you're going to share the stage with I. Yes, so we're going to do a lot of good talking. But let us talk when we come forward from the break about how I not look at the system that is failing and probably need to be revamped or tweaked, but how I can inject ourselves in the equation, offer ourselves as living monuments of work for the youth them, for save St. Lucia, for save ourselves in St. Lucia. And so the people who have an interest, vested interest, should take heed and to listen to some of this. I want them come in this segment, and I want the people to know 451-9349, 453-1730. If you have an interest in this, give us a call, because we're going to talk about justice, restorative justice and healing. And we have Sister Betty Jean with us. So, blessed love family, give thanks as we take a small break, and we come forward again with the Justice and Healing Initiative, right here in Calgary.
My name is Pontinas Cleary. I represent Central Distillers Group of Companies. I know Distillers always innovative, and we have been in the banana not production, but producing an item from banana for the last 15 years, I must say. First we had the banana cream, which our founding chairperson, deceased Mr. Laurie Bernard at the time, so was fitting to the banana cream for more of the tourists at the time. Because at the time, there were a lot of tourists coming to Roseau. And people was questioning, oh, there's no banana cream. So he came with the idea of a banana cream. So which we did. That was almost 15 years ago. When we got our new owners came, 3 years ago, we came to say, hey, okay, we have all these creams on different brands, under different names. So we ended up doing one name for all our creams, which is under Marigube. This is reformulated from the original banana cream we have. It's very smooth, and I can tell you, when it's chill, it goes on very, 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 very good.
Richard Matthias, President INO Apiculture Collective, President Association of Caribbean Beekeepers. Well, today we are at Castries St. Lucia. We're in front of the Castries Town Hall. We are at the final day of the Huronora National Honey Show, first of its kind in St. Lucia. We are trying to admire and present the honeys of St. Lucia. We had a competition to establish There is different criteria of honey, which ones are the best, which ones are not so good. We had honey cakes, a baked goods competition, and then we also embrace the arts and photography, where we ask people to depict scenes which are bee related or apiculture related. So it was really a showing of a celebration of St. Lucian honey and the art of apiculture. You can go to our website, ironolaapiculture.org, and you can get a whole cadre of information. We're one of the few organizations in the world that we have a free online beekeeping program, so you can follow the modules online, watch the videos. They're quite in-depth, and you'll be able to learn a lot of information. And I think the best thing you could do is to shadow a beekeeper. Find a beekeeper that you can shadow. He's willing to share his knowledge with you. And that's the best way for you to start and to learn. And then from that way you can decide whether or not beekeeping is for you or if it's not for you. And if it's for you, well, sky's the limit. Make it happen, man.
Yes, welcome again and give thanks for the Justice and Healing. You're right here in the Justice and Healing Calabash TV program. I'm Dr. Wayne Rose, inside studio, and I have a special guest, in fact, Sister Betty. I'd love to just openly invite you away from the title of guest and ask you to help me co-host this thing. We need to work with someone who has tentacles in the community. The
Anything
reach
for
of
them.
arm in the community. So I and I can together reach the youth them where we need for reach. And obviously, Sister Betty, you know the people. You have credibility in the community. So I'm inviting you on stage, putting her on spot. Rasway in doing that. I have the authority to do that. To ask Sister Betty to join us in the thrust for justice and healing. Yes? So can my audience get an affirmation from the I, beloved?
The thing about me, anything for the betterment of my country.
Rastafari.
I will do anything for the betterment
Give
of my
thanks.
country.
Give thanks for that commitment, Sister Betty. So we were just talking about ways
So
in
you
which.
just seal me up.
Give thanks.
You sign
It's
me up.
done. It's how it works. Go forward,
Yeah,
When
because we have so
committed
much
people.
things to talk about, and it's kind of almost impossible because I have so much to say. I have to say, even speaking about my life, what had me, it's not like the flourishing part of today, but what caused me to be the bad girl Betty. Like people still, like at first, I say, you know what, stop calling me that. But you know what? It's okay. The reason why it's okay, because I do not want to change anybody mindset of me before, but I want them to see a brighter me tomorrow.
And that sounds like it's what you want to see for all of St. Lucia.
Yes.
I would imagine this is what you want for the people of St. Lucia. Even those who may have stumbled, who might have stopped them foot and feel like
I want them to understand.
Yes.
I want them to understand that it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. Even with my process of adjustment, I've made mistakes. And it's okay. I want those out there to tell them it's okay. And how, instead of telling them, again, you, this is how you could change that. How do we do it collectively? How because it's hard for some of them to open up. It was hard for me to open up to anybody. I was one of the people that wouldn't speak. And because I wouldn't speak for so many years, I built up so much anger in me that anytime I speak is an outburst. That's the only time they would hear me. And the reason I accepted the request to be here again, the reason why I need to tell St. Lucia what I went through. Because I know I am not the only one who went through similar things like what I went through to create the monster that they saw in me. But all along I had a good heart.
Sister Betty,
Well, you wouldn't
I
know
don't really
me.
see a monster.
No,
What-
well, you
what
wouldn't know
Ross
me,
Wayne
but
is seeing-
it's something that
You know,
I'm
so-
honest to people. I don't hide. I don't hide nothing about my life. It's just that our time is so short because
No, it's good. We
I
don't
want to
have
start
time.
and tell you, okay, we could go until 12 o'clock tonight
Sister Betty,
or 5
we have
o'clock
time.
tomorrow morning.
By the way, St. Lucia, remember, you know, Sister Betty has made a commitment to help Ross Wayne and the Justice and Healing Initiative. And she's going to help us host the show. She's going to help us reach in the communities. Because we're not looking fame. We already have our own
No, but I'll tell
platform.
you why I'm willing.
Yes.
Because like I said, I've been his friend for 11, more than that, years. I can't even remember how many years. And he's a Rasta man.
So it's about Rastafari, the
Yes.
energy of Rastafari.
Wait, let me explain.
Please.
He has never forced me into his religion.
Give thanks.
Never. Never. But what he did, he guided me along the way. He guided me as to my life, how I could be a better person. You understand? So that is why I accepted this here today, because it's not about Rastafari alone. It's about our communities. It's about our youth. And they're rapidly going down. We all know what's going on in the country. And if it have to be, when they talk about, when I hear a holistic approach, what about the Rastas? What about the actual gangsters that has made the difference? What about the young man that want to also read the news and come and sit here with me? What about the common man? They don't acknowledge a common man. And I see this show as a difference.
Give thanks.
I see it as a difference, and that is why I accepted, not because you asked
It's not because-
alone. No, because I feel you.
Man, I give thanks though.
I
It's a
feel you.
joy.
But I accepted because I see this show as being making a difference.
Rastafari. Well, you know, Sister Betty, let me say this. Two things. First, again, in the wise mind, it's a book we're promoting, you know, because we want people to overstand, and we're not pushing religion. But His Majesty said something about religion. He said, religion is personal, but the state is for everyone. Yes? And therefore, the work of Rastafari today is not about religion and pushing religious philosophy. It's to say to everyone, you can do good, you can be good, you can be a valuable contributor to your society. You can lift yourself up and lift your nation state and your family and everything around you. That is what they are representing the conversation so far. Sister Betty said she has adjusted from something that people believe is a monstrosity to what I see today. I won't tell you what I see, but you can see it on the camera when you look at Sister Betty. It's an energy of goodness is what I see. Yes? So Sister Betty, as I and I was just talking, yes? We're talking about getting into the community. We're going to unpack a lot of this. Since you know committed time, I want to hear everything, and I want us to relate it because the people overstand it very intimately, even if some people don't overstand it well. Sister Betty, talk to me now again as we talk about an initiative. What kind of initiatives do you believe would be able to appeal to the young minds, even just as a suggestion, and from your own work?
Okay. I love the concept of the concert. Yeah, but we also did in Safe Spaces. We did the Peace League, which lasted 6 months.
Hold on, Sister Betty. That's a peace league.
A peace
6
league.
months. So hold on. So right on camera now and in the public sphere, when we say peace without justice is no peace at all. So can we look at it and call that Justice League or a Peace and Justice League?
Well, if it entails the community alone, it was a justice.
Rastafari.
Because it was mainly the communities. And nobody expected that for the length of time and the different teams, and they would have to play with each other. But the Peace League didn't only entail football. It entails community development, punctuality, conflict resolution, you know, different types of activities where people, where you get a chance, they get a chance to mingle.
Yes, yes.
And as you speak of the concert, the peace concert, I see at the end of the 6 months, because it was supposed to be a yearly, every year event, but then due to COVID, we had to hold back. But I see this peace concert as a plus, where not only the football and, you know, everybody coming together, everybody feeling where, and you know, what I believe in is like, it doesn't matter what congregation, as you said a while ago, you rightfully said, it doesn't matter. But we all need to fight for this one thing, peace in our country. I'd call it respect, respecting each other. Because with what I'm doing, I never ask nobody to speak to that one. You should speak to that person. I let them ride their own wave. But what I do as a form of intervention, I ask for respect.
Give thanks.
Now, respect is a big thing in the community. Respect is a word that's very heavy in the communities. So it's like you're around, all of us around. Yes, we have had problems, but then we could be around each other and no problem. We don't have to come and shake each other and or buy each other a drink. If you feel it necessary or you feel like jamming that person, that's up to you. But I don't force it on anybody. I speak good of that one. I'll say, okay, this is what I got. And I at first, I was always the neutral grounds. I was always on a neutral ground because I had to kind of come out of my zone, that is the Wilton Yardards graveyard, kind of shift from it and let my leaders and them know that, okay, if I pick a side, whatever we do in there will crumble. So it's your choice now. But I'm willing to work with everybody. So I was like neutral and speaking to that one. So it was like, but they came to the understanding.
Hold on a second, Sister Betty. You said you had to and you were, and it sounds like it's a past tense thing. You're still neutral. You're still working in the community, yes?
Yes, I'm still working.
And you're prepared to get that work done within the
Jajana
initiative.
I'm prepared to get up
Listen,
every day.
we're making history tonight. I want the family to know, because the whole initiative for Jajana, Justice and Healing, is to make sure that I can really have a platform where our families can come together and heal. It's not hustle Rasta seek to hustle nobody. We don't care about whatever you have. Rasta burn whatever you have. We say it's neither your gold nor your silver brought us here. So we burn it out a long time. But we have a commitment to bring healing to the family through the method of justice. And Sister Betty, lock your sound.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate your efforts because it's rare. What you're doing here is rare.
Give thanks.
Where it's always everybody segregate themselves. Like the Rastas segregate themselves, the bad boys segregate themselves, the police segregate themselves. And when we talk about healing of the nation, everybody needs to come on board.
Give thanks of a truth.
Everybody needs to come on. It's an all hands on deck situation.
That is where we're at with the. In fact, I want the family to know, Sister Betty, I thank you so much for them sounds, because the time that we are in, our moment in history right now says that we must come together, if it's even to save ourselves from being completely destroyed. So, as Sister Betty says, it's not a Rasta thing and a ballad thing and a church thing and a government thing. It's a family thing. And if the family wants salvation, redemption, if the family wants to really heal, just drop the facade, man. I am Ross Wayne, but I have a PhD. It don't matter if I have a PhD or if I have an MD or if I have no D. If there's no peace and justice, there's no comfort in our lives. So make we understand that intimately and move toward justice and healing. Yeah. Sister Betty,
Yeah.
We love you. We love the energy you represent. See?
Yeah.
And, you know, as Rastafari, we say one love. We say blessed love. But more importantly for tonight, we say give thanks to Sister Betty. Give thanks, St. Lucia.
yeah.
Give
Give
thanks,
thanks.
family. Because we're going to have justice and healing. And we only just begun. Tune in next strong for justice and healing. Sister Betty, blessed love and thanks, you know, my sister. It's a
Blessed.
joy. Rastafari. Honor and blessings. I Selassie the First.
Blessed.